What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, I want to talk about sort of kind of the future of gaming. I know that's like a general topic and blah, blah, blah. And anybody can spit poetic or whatever. But what I've noticed, been listening to podcasts with, hosts around my age who have children. I don't have any children, but they have children. And they watch their kids. Their kids are, age ranging from, 5 to, pre-teens, basically, kids, the kid range. And one thing that they have all noticed, and that I have noticed, of course, from their observation, obviously, is that, and my own observations from my nephew and my cousins, is that these new, I guess they're Gen Alpha or whatever's after Alpha, the newest gen, if you will, of kids growing up, well, first of all, they can't afford consoles, A. Second of all, they're growing up on swipey touchscreens. That's what they're playing. They're playing Minecraft on cell phones, and they're good at it too. They're playing Fortnite on cell phones, and they're good at it too. And like old fogies, like, well, actually, I was playing, little tangent, I dipped into some streaming on Xbox X streaming, whatever they call it, xCloud, and I played Vampire Survivor, and I played Killer Instinct, and I think I played some Forza Horizon 5, I think. And surprisingly, it was like, wait, this is, because I played it before, but I was on a cell connection, it's 5G or maybe 4G, and it was bad. It was just, it would freeze a little bit and super artifacting and stuff. I mean, I could play stuff, but it wasn't optimal. It was like really bad. This time I played, routers like right next to me, basically like 10 feet away maybe. And, it's over Wi-Fi. And I'm like, I was like, I could not tell the latency. And I'm going to say this. If you play Killer Instinct, think about playing it on cell phone, touch screen, because when you can slide your fingers on the buttons and crazy combos. So I was like, this is kind of like a cheat mode, because you can't do this on a regular controller. You can't like slide A-B real quick because it's a flat surface. And I'm like, and I was doing some stuff. I was like, this might be like the way to play. I'm just saying, I don't know. But I don't think people are talking about it because your mileage may vary. Like mine did. But once I got on a nice strong Wi-Fi signal, boom, it was like, I could not tell any lag. And I was playing on the phone that I'm recording right now. It's a Samsung Galaxy S21, I think it is. It's an old phone. It's so old that they're like, time for upgrade. I'm like, nope, my phone's perfect. It's good. I'm good. I ain't paying you for no upgrade. Anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to say that real quick. In regards to this whole the movement moving forward, moving forward. Kids are the next generation. Gen Alpha or whatever is after that. I can't remember what it is. They're the next generation. They will be buying the PlayStation 6 at the earliest. I got a job, I'm gonna go get me a PlayStation 6 or something like that. If not that, PlayStation 7, Xbox, I don't know what they're gonna call it at that point. And so the thing that Microsoft is doing, if the rumors are to be believed, which is super smart. Xbox has been very smart in their kind of hardware, I would say calculated in their hardware ambitions, right? They did the S for a nice cheap price to get into the market. They did the X for the power, right? Boom. That's okay. The devs didn't like it too much because they're like, we got to do more work. They want to complain and want to do as less work as possible. Sure. And Sony's just like, yeah, we just got one SKU. All the devs like, yay, we love it. And then, it's just, like I said, continuation of, they riding that PlayStation 4 wave into PlayStation 5, and the wave is hit the beach, it's going back. It's a rip current, it's going back. And so now, well, with PlayStation 4 Pro, I've heard rumors that the devs are not happy because they run into the same problem with the Series S and the Series X. Now you have the PlayStation Vanilla, you have the PlayStation Amateur, and now you have the PlayStation Professional. And devs don't want to do extra work. Not because it's extra work, but because it costs more money, and the people giving them the money, whether it's themselves or it's a publisher, they don't want to give any more money than they need to make a product to sell the most product. Anyway, but that's a little sidetrack. So Microsoft's plan, Xbox's plan, seems like the smartest plan. Because if they do a handheld, I'm buying it, period. Day one. Like, I'm looking at the Steam Deck, I'm looking at the Rogue Ally, I'm looking at the Lenovo Legion Pro Duo, whatever it's called. I'm looking at, is there another one? I'm looking at that. As I said, Rogue? Yeah, Roger. Anyway, and I'm like, I don't want those. Because A, they're too much money. And I mean, I appreciate that it's full Windows in those systems, and that's cool, but I think that an Xbox handheld, right? See, Microsoft needs to figure out something very important. They need to figure out a way to have a handheld that can be a Windows device, full Windows, but also you could have a dual boot situation where, boom, boot it into Xbox mode. There you go. And it's straight up Xbox. No Windows, no go through Windows to get to Xbox. No, straight, you put Xbox, do it like that so that it feels like an Xbox. Excuse me. Now, it has to be touchscreen, have all the haptics and all the stuff that the new controllers and stuff, have all that stuff in there, right? I mean, someone said $4.99 is a good price. I probably bite on $4.99, but hopefully a little cheaper. I would say $3.99 is the sweet spot. If they can get it at $3.99, it's bought. It's bought. But the main thing it needs to have is a touch screen, because it will accommodate the millions and millions and millions, I'm going to say hundreds of millions of little people, young people, children's, who grew up on that. So that will continue going forward into their adolescent and adulthood. And if you continue that going forward, they'd be like, it's a no-brainer. And if they build their library, if they're playing Minecraft and Roblox on the little boop, boop, boop. And also, Phil Spencer mentioned that, where are my saves? Where are my cross saves and all that stuff? And you can't do that on the Lenovo Legion. So he was like, we could do it better. And I'm like, that's what I like to hear. I want that Xbox handheld. So that's the first pillar of that. Xbox handheld, make it power-wise, honestly, if it's a Series S equivalent, I'm fine with that. It doesn't need to be super powerful because, expectations are that it won't be because, of the power requirement for a handheld. And the fact that the Surface team is making it means that the hardware is going to be in good hands and it's going to be dope, because the Surface team knows how to make hardware. Let's not sugarcoat or anything like that. I don't know where they came from, but they said, you think Sony can make some good stuff? That's why Sony stopped making computers, because they couldn't keep up. Anyway, so you got that, right? And now you got the other part, the second pillar, which is the super powerful home console. Now, the handheld, I would say, let's make the handheld such that you can dock it and probably put it on the bed, just like the Switch. I don't know about the detachable controllers, or if it is a detachable controller, make it just like slide out and not two separate things, just one thing, boop, and it's like an regular Xbox controller. I don't know, honestly, that's all ergonomics and industrial design that could, maybe be something, who knows, but that's not the point. I mean, that is important, but just having it a docked mode for the handheld is the smartest way to go, because it then acts like a Series S for the next generation. Now, remember, this has to be a next generation console. I'm not saying that it should be a Series S generation. I'm just saying power-wise, because it is a handheld, it can be a Series S equivalent as far as, I guess power isn't the right word, but performance, I guess, or kind of power to performance, you know what I'm saying, wattage to performance, because it's going to be a lower wattage system than Series S is, so you have to accommodate for that. And so that's, you know, column A, pillar 1, pillar 2. So pillar 2 is the super high budget, high powered home console, the Xbox Kraken X. Who knows? Kraken's a bad word because Sony filthy did. Whatever, the X. Just call it X. And I'll buy that too. Probably not as fast as the other one, because the series, people call Series H for handheld or Series P for portable, whatever. Series G on the go, GX. Anyway, so I'll buy the handheld first, if it comes out first, obviously. And then I'll probably wait for the more powerful one. You know, it's going to be more expensive, yes, but still, I would get both, because I want to have both experiences. I want the best graphics and all that stuff, right? And then I want to be able to go zoop, I'm out, beep, boop, boop, continue. And on the small screen, you know, it doesn't matter. The graphical detail doesn't have to be as high as on an 85-inch, you know, OLED. You know what I mean? So it works. You can have a Series S, or even less. You could do I would say 720p upscale to 1080p, and it'll still look good. You know, I think a lot of games on the Switch are 720p, I believe. So, you know, nobody's complaining, mainly because the art style is such. But, you know, 720p upscaled with all the new AI upscaling and stuff. Let's call it XSSR. PlayStation, stupid PSSR. They just got a rename. I said it was checkerboard rendering, renamed, and somebody in my comments was like, "That's not what it is." I'm like, "How do you know? Did they tell you that it's something different?" Because I don't think it's different. Remember, the PlayStation 5 is just a PlayStation 4 Pro, because most of the games are PlayStation 4 games. Just look better and perform better because of the extra power. What do you think the Pro is going to be? It's going to be the PlayStation 4 Pro. Trinity. And I made that joke I was going to say last episode. Last video. Kind of not, I mean, it was kind of just off the top of the head, because it was 3 Pros, and that's how, you know, 3 Pros duct taped together. And they literally named, the code name for the PlayStation 5 Pro is Trinity. So they're telling you it's a PlayStation 4 Pro. Anyway, Microsoft's plan, this dual SKU plan, which it was kind of an experiment with the S and the X, and it kind of worked. They say, oh, the S sold more because it's cheaper. And so they can take that and say, okay, well, we'll do a handheld. It'll be cheaper than the big boy, but it'll probably be more expensive than the S. But people will buy it because it's a handheld, and the market dictates that you can charge a little more, because all of those ROG Ally, I think Steam Deck is $399 or something like that, and ROG Ally is $499 or something like that. So, you know, they can charge more, and I don't think a lot of people will be that upset about paying for a little bit of extra for the convenience of having your full Xbox library on the go in your pocket, you know. So that's kind of the thing, where they have this dual SKU kind of this dual SKU strategy already in place. The devs don't like it, but if they're moving units, the devs are gonna like it, because it's like, oh well, I mean, they got 100 million units out. It'd be stupid for us to not put it on there. You know, if the devs could, they would put everything on the Switch too, because they got so many units out there. Well, I guess Nintendo's a little picky about that. Oh, maybe they're not. But a lot of games can't go on the Switch because it's not powerful enough. You know, and so I think Microsoft with the Surface team, they can make that happen. I'm kind of excited about where Microsoft is taking the industry. Sony. Nah, they feel like charlatans at this point. They feel like snake oil salesmen. They feel like they have conned the industry for a minute. I would say the PlayStation 4 Pro, not really. I would say the PlayStation 4 regular was the last good console they made, because everything else has been diminishing returns, and they haven't really done anything innovative. I don't know why I said that. Innovative. As far as pushing gaming forward. They're only following trends. And I would give credit to Mark Cerny for making the PlayStation 5 or overclocking it in such a way that it is pretty good. But at the same time, it messed up the ceiling. Now, somebody in the comments said, no, they can always do that with that. I was like, no. They overclocked the PlayStation 5 to begin with. So it creates less of a headroom for them to go. They can only go so high with the power restraints that they applied upon themselves with that system. That system has a specific power. It's like, boom, I forgot what the wattage is, but it's like, you can't go past this. And so the CPU and the GPU is juggling. And it's going to happen with the Pro. And I'm like, how? I mean, I understand it's a smaller node, right? It's a smaller chip. So it's more power efficient. So that's where they're getting extra power from in order to overclock it. But it's so ass backwards. It's like, yo, you want to have more power, give it more power. Give it more wattage, fool. But they're on this, whatever. And you look at these graphic cards and stuff, they're pulling power. I mean, a lot, like burning down systems. So I don't know where there is something. I don't know if I talked about this last video, but there's something that had come up that is the future of computing, which will be in turn the future of gaming. Now, what I was talking about in this video is basically the two pillars, the handheld and the big boy. I think that's a good move for Xbox, considering the generations that are coming up and becoming grown-up gamers, right? They're looking forward. They're looking at the long game. That's what Microsoft does. Sony, not so much. And so now what's happening in computing, I don't know, this is still years out, but what they have figured out, I read an article about it, or I read some of the article, and it was basically they're figuring out how to run all of the chips in the system in parallel. So I guess it's a different, I want to say API, but I don't think that's correct. But it's a different way that the system runs the memory, the I/O of the memory, or the information basically through the chips. Now, today, these consoles and these computers, what they do is there's an order of instructions, right? So you got, I don't know if you go to GPU first, to CPU, RAM to CPU. There's an order of where the stuff goes, the information goes in order for it to get done at the end, right? It goes, there's a line. This new technique, this new technology that they're talking about is CPU's doing something, GPU's doing something, simultaneously working on things. As far as, the NPU, which is something new that'll probably be in the new systems. So all three of these, I think that's what Sarah Bond was alluding to when she said it'll be the biggest leap generationally, because this technology can work with current speeds and chips. And did they say 100 times fast? I forgot what the actual number is, but it was ridiculous. I was like, that's not, no, or 1,000 times faster. It's some crazy number. And I'm like, I don't know about that. But in theory, it makes sense. If you can process more things simultaneously instead of waiting for it to go through the line, then you'll have faster, it's just faster speeds, faster computing power. And so with that technique plus the advancement of, the chips, the nodes getting smaller and all that stuff. Plus, if they implement that in a handheld device, I don't know if they will, because rumor has it that the handhelds are in prototype stage right now. And so I think it's too early for that technique to actually be applied. But I don't think it needs to be at this point. But like moving forward, and this is stuff that kind of excites me, because it's like a paradigm shift as far as the technology goes. We've been doing the same stuff as far as consoles go for decades. Like, okay, there's a CPU and the GPU, there's a sound chip, and it goes through It's been the same way ever since the NES and the Sega Master System, basically. You know, it goes through this way and that way, boo, 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 and it comes out the end, graphics games, right? But now, with this shift, it's like, if it works, and if they get it locked down and they can make it work, then, like, the possibilities, like, imagine games being 1,000 times faster or more powerful with the same stuff that you have now. The same, like, you take a game out, whatever, Cyberpunk, and you apply this new technique, 120, 240 frames, the 8K, let's go. I mean, it won't, I'm exaggerating, but, you know, I think the bump in performance will be ridiculous. And that's, like I said, that excites me. That's the stuff that I'm looking forward to give us, you know, those better games and to continue to give us super dope games in the future, you know. But I don't know if I can find the link. I saw that a couple weeks ago, I think, or a week ago. I don't know where the link is, but whatever. It's all good, but it's interesting. I totally forgot what it was called too, but it's definitely something interesting. Something that, I mean, yes, it's different. So I don't know if devs will be keen on adopting this new way of the system working, or if Microsoft creates an API which is kind of seamless, where it's like it's the same APIs that you're used to working with, the devs are used to working with, but on the back end, on the metal end, it processes the information differently, so you get more performance. You know, it's more performant. The code is more performant. But anyway, I mean, those are my thoughts as far as the future, as far as what we know now, and it's super exciting. It's super exciting. But yeah. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Like and subscribe. Hit me up in the comments below. What do you think about the future, short term, and, you know, looking a little bit longer term as far as the generations, the alphas and the omegas, or whatever the name of the new ones is called. And, you know, do you think that gaming will change? Like, these companies will adopt a more touch screen focused gaming? Or not, well, adopt. I was going to say embrace, but adopt it or include it into the traditional, because I think they can both exist together. Because remember, we, the Gen Xers, are still buying consoles. We have the money to buy consoles, and we will buy consoles. So make consoles so we can buy the consoles. Little kids, not so much. Little kids is like, yo, I want the touchscreen, daddy. And like, all right, there you go. Why do you think the Switch is so popular? One, because Mario. Two, because it is touchscreen. I mean, everything is touchscreen on it, but, you know, it is recognizable and it's familiar and it's comfortable for these newer generations. And so Microsoft sees it with the Switch. They said the Switch ain't got enough power. Microsoft, all they need to do is emulate. They need to emulate certain aspects of the Switch, make them way better, put their game library, Game Pass on. It's a portable Game Pass in your pocket. Let's go. Native. That's important. Anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging out. And I'll talk to y'all on the next one. Till the week.